Hello everyone and welcome to my CSAVU channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Angry correctional officer locked Julie Chrisley in cafeteria. Julie Chrisley saw her time behind bars get cut short thanks to a presidential pardon. However, the Chrisley Knows Best star has denied receiving any special treatment during her time in prison. Recently, she shared a haunting incident while in prison, with her family weighing in on the story. Savannah Chrisley recently hosted her parents Todd and Julie on her podcast. Julie Chrisley and her husband Todd were introduced to audiences through the USA Network reality series, Chrisley Knows Best. In 2022, however, the two were convicted of charges including bank fraud and tax evasion. For her part, Julie was originally sentenced to 7 years behind bars, which she was set to serve at the Federal Medical Center in Lexington, Kentucky. However, this past May saw Julie and Todd receive a presidential pardon. Since then, the Chrisley family has opened up about Todd and Julie's time in prison, including calls for reform. Recently, Julie herself recounted a harrowing incident while on her daughter Savannah's Unlocked podcast. During their conversation, Savannah noted her mother called her about the incident at the Lexington Center. She shared, "I will never forget at the very beginning, you called me and you were all to pieces because that wanna CO," referring to a correctional officer. Julie noted the officer was a food service worker and has since retired. Savannah then claimed the officer intentionally targeted her mother. An incident was recounted in which Julie was locked in a cafeteria. During the discussion, it was felt that Julie's experiences were harsher than Todd's. In turn, Julie shared, "He was just a miserable human being, he really was." Her husband Todd also claimed Julie was the only one getting locked up like that, adding that he would have filed a complaint. Todd and Julie also noticed that a variety of inmates tried to befriend prison staff. However, they felt, "They are not your friends, that's for sure." Comparing both of her parents' experiences, Savannah felt her mother endured harsher treatment than her father. Todd agreed, sharing, "I think that's the way that it is for women in general." In particular, it was noted that Julie's prison didn't have air conditioning, while Todd was able to get new AC units installed within a week thanks to a complaint. For her part, Julie mused that this could be because the building she was placed in was older than the one Todd was in. However, she also highlighted her center didn't have the option of getting new AC units since they never had them to begin with. The steel door slammed shut with a thunderous clang, echoing down the sterile concrete corridor like a gunshot. Julie Chrisley flinched. She turned around just in time to see the correctional officer's hard eyes through the narrow window of the locked cafeteria door, and just as quickly he vanished. It was supposed to be a normal afternoon. Julie had finished her assigned shift in the kitchen earlier than expected, and she decided to stay back and tidy up the dining area, something she often volunteered to do. The cafeteria was quiet, almost peaceful compared to the chaos of prison life. The echo of voices and clattering trays had faded, and for once, she could breathe without feeling like a number. Until Officer Grant arrived. He was one of the more volatile guards, known for his mood swings and an almost theatrical disdain for inmates who had lived lives of privilege before incarceration. Julie, the former reality TV matriarch, was an easy target. From day one, he treated her with icy suspicion, sometimes downright contempt. Southern Belle in a jumpsuit, he'd once sneered under his breath during roll call. Julie had tried to ignore him, sticking to her routines and staying out of trouble. But this afternoon, something was different. "You still in here?" Grant barked as he entered. Julie nodded. "Just finishing up wiping down the tables, sir." "You're not supposed to be in here unsupervised. You know the rules." "I cleared it with Officer Talbot," she said calmly. "He told me I cooled." Grant cut her off with a wave of his hand and pulled the door shut behind him. Talbot's not running this block today. I am, he scowled. You celebrities always think the rules don't apply, don't you? Julie tensed. She didn't respond. She didn't want to escalate anything, but Grant wasn't looking for peace. You think because you were on TV, the world's supposed to roll out a red carpet for you? This isn't a reality show, sweetheart. This is prison. He jabbed a finger toward her. You want to act like you're in charge? Let's see how you like being in charge of the cafeteria for a while. The sound of the lock turning was like a punch to her gut. Wait, what are you doing? Julie asked, stepping toward the door. Grant gave a smug smile through the glass panel and said, Think about who you are in here, Mrs. Chrisley. And then he walked away, disappearing down the hall. Julie stood frozen for a moment. Then she sprang into action, pounding on the door, yelling for help. Nothing. Her voice bounced off the cold walls, swallowed up by the industrial hum of the facility. Minutes passed, then hours. She paced, she sat, she screamed. The initial adrenaline faded, replaced by exhaustion, then dread. It didn't matter who she used to be. Julie Chrisley was now just another inmate forgotten behind a locked door. And no one was coming. As the daylight faded beyond the narrow cafeteria windows, Julie's thoughts swirled. Was this just a power play, a cruel prank, or something more? Flashbacks came in waves, memories of her old life. The grand kitchens she used to cook in, the holidays with her family, the cameras, the spotlight, and then the slow, painful unraveling that led her here. In the silence, tears stung her eyes, not just from the fear of being trapped, but from the aching realization that for the first time in her life, she was utterly powerless. Her wealth, her name, her past, none of it mattered. She was at the mercy of people like Grant, who saw her as a symbol of everything they despised. And still, no one came. She tried banging on the door again, her palms raw and sore. Her voice was hoarse from shouting. She slumped against the cold wall, hugging her knees to her chest, trying to hold it together. Just when she thought she might spend the entire night alone, the door creaked. A different officer, Officer Renee Silva, peeked through the slot. Her eyes widened. Julie, what the hell? You've been in here all this time? Julie scrambled to her feet. Yes, Officer Grant locked me in. He just left me. Silva swore under her breath and quickly unlocked the door. This is insane. Why didn't anyone report you missing? I tried calling out. No one came. Julie's voice cracked. I'm putting in a report right now, Silva said, ushering her into the hallway. This isn't just a mistake. It's malicious. The incident didn't stay quiet for long. Within days, word spread. Other inmates whispered about the locked cafeteria. Some had seen Grant near the area that afternoon. Others had long suspected he'd snap one day. Even some of the guards began murmuring their concerns. Julie filed a formal complaint, not out of revenge, but out of principle. She knew staying silent would only embolden him and others like him. When Savannah heard what happened, she was livid. She's still my mom, Savannah said in a tearful interview on her podcast. I don't care where she is. You don't get to treat her like an animal. That officer should lose his badge. Todd, calling from prison, reportedly told a friend, they think they can break her, but Julie's stronger than they'll ever know. The prison launched an internal investigation. Grant was placed on administrative leave. Though it remained unclear whether his actions would lead to serious consequences, the public scrutiny was undeniable. And for Julie, something shifted. The cold hours in that cafeteria became more than just a traumatic memory. They became a turning point, a moment of bitter clarity. She realized that survival in prison wasn't just about following the rules or keeping your head down. It was about standing up, even when your voice shook, even when the doors slammed shut. The cafeteria door was eventually unlocked, but something inside Julie Chrisley had been unlocked too.